Coming out of high school, I had no offers, no stars, and barely any schools even wanted me. But despite all that, football still changed my life forever. It all started when I was in the first grade, and honestly, I hated football at first. But looking back at it now, it was all a part of God's plan. And even when I didn't understand it then, everything aligned how it was supposed to be. When I was playing youth football back in the day, bro, I was not that good. And due to that, it caused a lot of my teammates to bully me or look down upon me. But that bullying made me more passionate and wanted me to prove that I belonged on the field. Especially back in 7th or 8th grade, my dream college was Clemson. My football career only mattered to me if I could become the big-time 5-star in high school and go play at a big-time school. Then the goal was the NFL, become a top draft pick, buy my mama a house and fulfill all our dreams. Every athlete has dreamed of this growing up, and thinking like this was the downfall of my high school career. Because high school only mattered to me if I could become a 5-star and come out with a bunch of offers. This was the only version of success in high school that I saw. So my 7th and 8th grade years, I was putting in work, trying to get better on my own, and when I got straight into high school, I was gonna be the player that I dreamed of. However, when freshman year came, I had a hard realization. I was not as good as I thought I was. I wanted to be a 5-star by the end of my sophomore year, but the truth was, I was slow. My 40-yard dash was like a 5.3. I wasn't strong, and I was behind compared to the other players in my class. When it came to youth football, I was surrounded by dogs. I played down in South Florida in the AYFL League, and I believe because I was surrounded by dogs and I was competing against them, if I went and played in Palm Beach County, an easier county, it was gonna be cake for me. However, high school football is not the same as youth football. When I got there, I realized how good the competition truly was. I kept seeing people in my district, guys I grew up with, getting D1 offers, going on visits, playing for the best 7-on-7 team, only as a freshman, and that crushed me because I was doing none of that. Going into my sophomore year, I was hungry, I was working, I was trying to be great, and I got better and made some plays my sophomore year compared to my freshman year. But still, when it came to my sophomore year and the season I had, it wasn't what I wanted, and I still wanted that dream. But while chasing that dream, I was constantly reminded I was not him. Like I said before, I was seeing teammates, guys I grew up with, getting D1 offers, playing for great schools. But me, I wasn't getting nothing. I wasn't even making 7-on-7 teams I was trying out for. And when I went to camps, I would do decent, but I was too slow to get looked at. So I trained harder, believing this was only part of adversity, and that if I worked harder, I could get to the 5-star level that I wanted. And if I couldn't get to the 5-star level, I'd at least be a 4-star or a 3-star. In the spring of my sophomore year, I got a trainer and I was locked in as well. I stayed focused, then COVID hit. However, COVID was not gonna stop my grind. All it meant is that I got a few months off and I could start grinding. So me and my trainer locked in for those 6 to 7 months. I was going against top guys. I was going to destroying events. I was hosting 7-on-7s in my city. I was doing anything I can to go against any type of competition. But when my high school season rolled around, I was locked in and ready. We didn't have that many games, and I think everybody qualified for the playoffs. However, going into my first game, I was going to have a good game. I was locked in with my boys. We were going to have a great year. I was going to be the star receiver this year because all the other seniors graduated. Last year, I did have a decent season, but I couldn't do much because there was upperclassmen above me. But this season, this was gonna be my season. And in my first game as a junior, I went off. I had 3 to 4 catches for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I caught a deep post route on my first touchdown, and on my second touchdown, I caught a deep go route where I double caught the ball and the ref called it a touchdown. I thought this is my moment. If I can keep having games like this, the offers gonna keep rolling in. However, the team we went against was trash. I had a good game against them, but that was only because them boys was playing no defense on me. They was just letting me run right by them. But still, film is film, and it looked good. So thinking that this is my moment, going into my second game of my COVID year, I got locked up. I barely did anything that game, and we got destroyed. I don't even remember the score, and that's probably because I erased it from my memory. And this was my wake-up call. The team that I played for was trash. And if I wanted to go D1, I couldn't continue playing for this team. And with that, I transferred schools, leaving my team behind mid-season. I still remember that day. I did not tell my coach a thing. The program was gonna go downhill. We were losing every game, and me and my family made the decision to transfer me to another school, basically foregoing my junior year. And in spite of losing my junior year, the school that I was transferring to was gonna be a much better school that was gonna propel me to the D1 player I wanted to be. And with that, I transferred to Atlanta Community High School in Delray Beach, Florida. My mindset didn't change. I still wanted to go D1. Forget about prom, forget about homecoming, forget about all the high school festivities. I wanted to be a D1 football player. High school was just my track to go in D1. Forget all the fun that came with it. That was my mindset then. And while I was at Atlantic, my mindset completely changed on football and life as a whole. I started building connections with teachers, teammates, friends, mentors. I was seeing life in a completely different light. I realized that I didn't just want to go to college to play football. I wanted to go to college to have an experience. But despite that, football was still my #1 priority. And wherever I ended up when it came to college, I needed to be playing football there. And when spring finally rolled around in my junior year, I could finally play at Atlantic. There was a debate on whether or not I could play because I was coming from another school, but my coach found a way to let me play the spring game. And I had one catch during the spring game, which was pretty decent. But after that spring game, my coach recommended that I just switch from receiver to linebacker. And he told me that if I went to outside linebacker, I would for sure go D1. But I did not care. Going D1 did not matter to me if it wasn't receiver. I was constantly doubted all my life when it came to being a receiver. So if a coach was trying to switch my position to corner or a linebacker, I wasn't trying to hear it. And nothing was going to stop me from becoming a D1 receiver. And finally, that was the end of my junior year. However, what I forgot to mention is on this new team, there were 6 senior receivers, including me. That doesn't even include the juniors and the underclassmen. And it's not like these receivers were trash. They were all studs. Some of them were even better than me. And I'm not gonna lie, they were taller, bigger, faster, and stronger. But I wasn't gonna let that stop me. I was hungry and I wanted to be the best. And around this time, I found out that when I left my previous school, I actually had interest from a school called FAU. However, when I left that school, that interest left with it. But despite that, when my senior year came around, I still had no offers. My younger self was dreaming of becoming a 4-star, 5-star by this time. The work that I put in still hasn't paid off, and I had no offers backing up my dreams. Clemson, down the dream. Alabama, down the dream. Any school that I dreamed of going to, down the dream. But it wasn't over yet. I still had my senior year season to do. And if I could ball out and make something happen, maybe I'll catch the attention from a school. And at this time, I was maybe thinking if I can't go D1, then I'm gonna go high tier D2 or low tier D1. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, my senior year went by like a flash. And even halfway through, I was getting ready to quit. But still, I was able to find my way back and keep grinding and keep working. The goal before was low tier D1, low tier D2. But at this point, I was looking for D2, D3, just anywhere I could play football at this point. But deep down, I felt like I could compete with anybody. The teammates that I was practicing with and going against had D1 offers. In 7-on-7, I was going against dudes with D1 offers. I was showing out and making plays. And due to that, I felt like I belonged to play D1. And I went to like a senior camp and I was in contact with a few D2 and D3 coaches. But I'm not gonna lie, I was hungry to go D1 and I said, forget it. And I told those coaches, hey guys, appreciate y'all for the opportunity, but I will be walking on at North Carolina A&T. The team denied me like 3 times, allowing me to walk on. They had like a 3.4 GPA requirement. The coaching staff got fired twice. I quit college football to go pro. And then my college football season ended abruptly, not the way I wanted it to. And now my arena football career is technically over and I'm back in college. But what I want to leave you guys with and what I want you to take away from this video is this. Throughout high school, through the grind, through the disappointments, through everything that I went through, I missed some key moments. And I realized something that I wish I knew earlier. I never actually got to enjoy high school football. I was so focused on chasing my dream to play college football in the NFL that I actually forgot about enjoying the journey there. And now looking back, there's nothing like high school football. Not college, not pro, not even the league. None of these things compare to the pure joy and experience that you get from high school football. I missed prom, I missed homecoming, I missed memories with people that I'll never get back because I thought success was only real if it came with D1 offers. But the truth is, football gave me something so much deeper. Even without any scholarships in high school and it panning out how I wanted it to, football still gave me identity. By the way, my full identity comes from Christ, but God led me to Him through football. But football taught me work ethic, it taught me brotherhood, and it helped me understand my purpose. And I don't regret not having any scholarships in high school. What I do regret is not letting my heart change for the game so on. So if you're playing high school football right now, cherish it. Go to prom, go to homecoming, go hang out with your boys. But still at the same time, put in the work and enjoy the opportunity while you have it. And don't miss the moment while chasing the future. Let the game teach you, let it grow you. Because even if you don't go D1, even if you don't make it to the league, with high school football, you can learn so much and completely change your life.